so damn far. I know you love me, but you gotta leave now. Now you don't care about us.
Hey guys, it's Deja, the Princess of Variety, and I am back with a new video concerning the upcoming Friday the 13th game. So I found out about this game last year, and honestly, I didn't think it would actually become a thing, because when I heard about the game, not much had really been said about it, along with the fact that money was still being raised for it to even become an actual game. So I honestly didn't think it would ever be released, but I am so excited that I was wrong, because I am already dying to play it, no pun intended. So just to be clear, all of the information I'm giving you guys in this video, I have either found on the Friday the 13th The Game official Twitter page, Charmin X Soft's YouTube channel, or the game's official website. Just to give you guys a little bit of backstory before I get into the main purpose of this video, the developers of this game are Gun Media and IllPhonic. I personally had never heard of them until now, so I'm assuming they're smaller developers, but I know a lot of people who worked on the original Friday the 13th movies are teaming up with them to make this game happen. The game initially had a Kickstarter fund to raise money for features to be added into the game one by one, and they ended up raising over $800,000, which is why this game is now in the works and will be released soon. Originally, the game was supposed to be released in fall 2016, but since the developers really wanted this game to be top-notch for the fans, they pushed the release date back to early 2017 in order to make sure everything is perfect when the game is finally released. Initially, it was going to be an online multiplayer game, but the game is actually going to have a single player added to it summer 2017 after the game is released. The cool thing is, the beta for this game will be released this year, and obviously there's only a few more weeks of 2016 left, so that will be coming up very soon. The catch is, to play the beta, you have to pre-order the game. I'll put a link in the description of the website so that you all can do that, but keep in mind, the beta will only be available on PC. The actual game will be released on Xbox One, PS4, and PC. So if you pre-order the game for console, you'll still get to play the beta, but you'll have to play it on PC. The hard copy of the game is $60 and will be $60 in stores, but the digital copy is only $40 for all of the exact same features. So that's a pretty good deal. You guys can find that on the website as well. The digital copy used to be $30, but it has since went up $10, and who knows if it'll go up again. So pre-order the digital copy while you still can. By the way, I already know what you guys are thinking, and no, I am not being paid to make this video for the developers of this game or anything like that. I'm just genuinely excited for the game, so I want everyone to be able to play it. Now, some of you guys are probably like, okay, all of that is awesome, but what is this game even about? What can you even do in it? Alright, so here's the thing. Friday the 13th The Game is a third-person horror survival game. You can either play as Jason Voorhees or a counselor. In the game, it'll be Jason versus 7 counselors. So basically, you'll have to try to survive in the world of the game and not die. You'll be able to play as different Jasons from the different Friday the 13th films, and each Jason has a different starter weapon. Even though there's only 7 counselors in a game at once, there are more than 7 to choose from. Each counselor has different stats from the other. So one counselor may be good at building things and running quickly, but they may suck at being stealthy. Whereas another counselor may be good at being stealthy, but it may take them twice as long to fix something. For all you ladies out there that's tired of playing as guys, there's also a lot of different girls to choose from in this game, so that's always a plus. Some of the counselors include the jock, the athletic girl, the edgy guy, the girl next door, the preppy guy, the bookish girl, the head counselor, the rocker chick, the nerdy guy, and the flirty girl. Plus Tommy Jarvis, who is Jason's arch nemesis in the Friday the 13th movies, who has just been announced to be one of the playable characters in the game. I asked developers on Twitter if more counselors will eventually be added to the game, and they said, "We have plans, you see." Plans. So from that, I'm assuming there will be even more counselors than this in the future, which is freaking awesome because there's already so many. The awesome thing about there being so many cool counselors is the fact that you can choose what counselor you want to play as every game. For example, in games like Evolve and Rainbow Six Siege, if someone chooses the character you want to play as before you do, you unfortunately have to choose another character. But in this game, that won't be an issue. You can play as whatever counselor you want every single match. So if everyone wants to be the same counselor, everyone can play as the same counselor. But obviously this isn't a smart decision because, as I said before, every counselor is different from one another. So if everyone chooses to be the jock and his stealth skill is low, Jason will be getting sound blips from all different directions, and it may be easier for him to find everyone faster. It's better to have a mixture of counselors running around to keep Jason guessing, because all of the counselors have different stats, strengths, skills, and weaknesses. So in other words, you want people who could slip right by Jason without being noticed, but you also want people who are good at fixing things and whatever other stats that'll be in the game. Having a variety of counselors is key. Jason's mask can be removed in-game, but the way to do this hasn't been released yet. Everything is unlocked universally. This means you can unlock different Jasons, counselors, weapons, clothing skins, and items no matter who you're playing as. For instance, if you haven't been chosen as Jason for the past 5 rounds or so, you can still work towards unlocking new Jasons without ever playing as him. Jason has 4 abilities: Sense, which is scanning for the fear of counselors; Shift, which is moving across short distances quickly; Morph, which is teleporting across the map; and Rage, which consists of bursting through doors and whatnot. Rage is probably the most powerful ability of all of them, and there may be a lot of times you don't unlock it within a match. The rate at which you unlock Jason's other abilities is determined by how well you're doing. So with that being said, you could stand in one place the entire match and unlock all of the abilities, but it would take a long time and probably wouldn't be the best idea. Matches can last up to 15 to 20 minutes in length. So if someone being Jason is having trouble finding counselors, or if someone who's Jason is just trolling and not even trying to find or kill anyone, the game will automatically deem the counselors as the winners of the match if the game begins to exceed these limits. While playing as Jason, there are sound blips in the distance. The sound blips are counselors that are running around and making noise. With the morph ability, Jason can choose to teleport to any location on the map, but the thing is, when he's choosing where to teleport to, he's not able to see any of the counselors on the map. The morph ability also has a cooldown time, so it can't be spammed all over the place, just to keep the game fair. When Jason uses the sense ability to scan cabins for the fear of counselors, he cannot see through walls to identify how many counselors are inside or what they're doing. He senses fear. So some of the things that can cause the fear of a counselor to rise is running in the woods with no light, being alone, seeing Jason murder another counselor, or making the kinds of dumb decisions you see people make in horror movies. As Charmin X Soft stated, if you hear a sound in the woods in the game, don't make that dumb horror movie decision and go searching around to see what it is. That's what gets you killed in this game. Character fear is uncontrollable to the player, so if your counselor is extremely scared because maybe he or she just saw Jason murder someone, this could cause them to stumble or even say things like, "Oh God, please don't come this way," and there's nothing you can do about it. So your role as a player is to keep the fear levels at bay. Also, keep in mind that counselors have different stats, and some are better than others at certain things. So some counselors could possibly be better at handling their fear than others. There is no fear bar on the screen, so you'll have to rely solely on the character's body language and facial expressions to determine how scared they are, hence why the game is in third person instead of first. Things that can reduce fear levels include barricading and locking doors, staying on paths, picking up weapons, getting to a hiding spot, looking for light sources, and making smart decisions, the kind that usually aren't made in horror movies. Jason can be killed, but it's not easy, and there isn't any information on how to do that just yet. The game developers have said that in 1 out of 75 matches, Jason will be successfully killed, so it's not wise to try to kill Jason. They also said that one jock counselor with a baseball bat could not kill Jason by himself, so that just goes to show how difficult it'll be to kill Jason. You're better off just trying to escape. Jason can stab through any object that a counselor can hide in, behind, or under. However, he has to be careful because if a counselor is not hiding in, behind, or under that particular object, Jason's weapon can get stuck when he stabs through it, which can give the counselors time to get away while he's dealing with freeing his weapon. There's game proximity chat. So this means that voice chat and game audio fall off within a certain distance to other players, meaning to be able to talk to other players, you'll have to be in close proximity to them within the game. The developers also hinted that there will be some sort of in-game communication that players without mics will be able to use to communicate with other counselors. There are many different ways to escape the map, such as by car, by boat, or by calling the police. However, you have to fix items and find parts to be able to use these objects. No matter who you play as, every counselor can do every task. So every counselor can fix a car. Some might just be better at it than others. Counselors can spawn anywhere on the map at the beginning of a match. Counselors can also randomly spawn in groups of 2 or 3, and sometimes counselors may even spawn all by themselves. Where you spawn is different depending on what character you're playing as. So since this is Friday the 13th, you might spawn near a campfire, drinking beers with friends, or putting on your clothes after just having sex. You can run out of stamina, and running causes Jason to see sound blips, so you have to be careful to maintain your stamina and use it wisely. The phone will spawn in a random location every match. If you happen to find it, you'll have to repair it. If you're able to repair it, you then have to wait 10 minutes for the police to arrive. When the police arrive, they'll spawn at a random location, which you'll have to make it to without dying before you're actually safe. To make this situation as fair as possible, the developers took into account the fact that trolls could just morph to the police and kill them. So they made it so Jason cannot kill the police. You'll have to repair vehicles and find the keys to operate it. You don't have to wait around for other people either. If you find the keys and the vehicle is already repaired, you could hop right in and leave everyone else to fend for themselves if you wanted to. Remember, it only matters if you survive, so in this game you don't have to work with other players if you don't want to, even though it would probably be your best bet. There's 7 counselors in a match, but the car only holds 4 people and the boat only holds 2 people, which might not be good for some people in the game, meaning someone might have to get left behind to save themselves. Every single vehicle in the game hasn't been confirmed yet, but the amount of seats for every vehicle does vary. Also, they change based on map. So one map might have a car that holds 4 people and a boat that holds 2, but another map might have a car that holds 2 people and a boat that holds 4. When you get in a car, it doesn't just end. You actually have to completely drive off of the map to actually escape. So if whoever is driving crashes into a tree, you'll have to find another way to escape. And in the words of Charmin X Soft, if you think you made a lot of noise running around, wait until Jason hears a car engine start up. Keep in mind, Jason can still kill you even while you're trying to drive away, so you have to be careful even when you're in the car. There are traps you can use to plot against Jason, however, the traps can not only hurt Jason, but can hurt counselors too. So you have to be careful about where you walk, and you have to remember where you place them. If Jason kills a counselor, their body will remain in the same place on the map for the entirety of the match. When the full game is released, there will be a private match system where you can change the settings of the game to your liking. There will be 3 maps at launch, and even though it's almost guaranteed that more maps will be added to the game later, the 3 maps that will already be in the game are huge. The size of the maps are estimated to be about the size of a Battlefield Conquest large map. Currently, it takes Jason about 7 to 8 minutes in real time to walk completely across a map from one side to the other. So you don't have to worry about getting tired of the maps in terms of size, but also because they're all randomly generated. For example, every time you play on a map, something on it will be different than it was before. For instance, maybe you played on a map and one of the campgrounds on it had 9 cabins. Well, the next time you play on that same map, that same campground may only have 6 cabins. Also, All of the parts, items, vehicles, weapons, the police, and the phone spawn in a different place every single game, but the doors and windows also spawn differently every game. Every cabin has 2 exits minimum, so the cabin you once thought had only 2 exits could have 3 exits the next time you go to it in a new match, and Jason could enter in from an entire new door or window that wasn't initially there in the last game, meaning you have to pay close attention. The game randomly rolls the number of cabins, the locations of the cabins, and the number of doors and windows separately. This ensures that everyone gets a new experience every time they play the game. Charmin X Soft asked one of the game developers what the chances are that you'll see the exact same layout for a map again, and he told him that the chances are highly unlikely that you'll ever see the exact same layout for a map again, due to the fact that so many different things are randomly generated on all of the maps each match. So that is everything that I have for you all in this video. Of course, any of these features are subject to change before the game is actually released, and especially after the developers receive feedback from the beta. But if any other groundbreaking news is released about the game, I'll do another video, but for now this covers it. Once again, I got majority of my information from Charmin X Soft's channel, which is linked down in the description below, along with the Friday the 13th the game's official website and Twitter page. So if you want to know more details about the game, make sure you go check out the links in the description. Also, be sure to subscribe if you enjoyed this video, leave a like, and comment some of the things you're excited about that'll be in this game. What character do you think will be the coolest? What stats and strengths would you want your counselor to have? Would you want to play more so as Jason or a counselor? And out of all of the ways to escape that was mentioned in this video, which one do you think will be the best and why? Anyways, I hope you all enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching and goodbye.
Your flesh.